If you share your expertise and you speak 30-second videos, sharing just one tip at a time, that's all that's really required.
Hey Dennis,
RJ,
thank you so much for being on the show today.
Awesome, and even on a Saturday.
Yeah, truly appreciate it. Well, we're gonna be like super fast out there. I want to know like quick, brief backstory out there, like how everything started for you. You started for almost like more than 2 decades ago. So like how things started for you initially.
Yeah, I was a search engine engineer. I built the analytics at Yahoo, which is a search engine. And then there was more data that was coming from social networks. So I happened to be there at the right place at the right time. And I ran a bunch of Facebook ads when Facebook was brand new. And then we had TikTok. So now we have the #1 best-selling book on social media, which happens to be on TikTok. And my career has been just wherever the data has been. I've been very lucky to be a database, search engine, big data kind of guy. And the more data there is, the more opportunity there is if we know how to use it.
That's interesting. So like since you've transitioned from one place to another out there, as a search engine from Yahoo and then from Facebook, then to TikTok, how you were able to, find the best time out there to get into those platforms out there, during the whole moment?
The people who built the platforms are friends of mine. So the people that actually started with at Yahoo, a lot of them went to go work at Google. And a lot of the people who I knew at Google went to go work at Facebook. So my advantage is not because I'm smarter, but because I know who the other people are. And as you know, in business, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. It's all about the relationships you have.
Yeah, 100%. And you mentioned about relationships out there. How, I know like most people out there take it for granted, all they focus on making money, but either one, nobody knows them and they don't know anyone. So like how you think about like building the relationship in the long term is a key factor particularly.
Look, you can make money by being invisible. You can do cold calling. You can do lots of things that often are a starting point for people who don't know any better or don't have a network. But if you want to have a long-term mission, if you want to have a business that you're proud of, if you want to have a business that continues to make money instead of just there's one trick you have on Amazon or whatever that makes money and then goes away, or some, scammy or spammy or one-off little tactic that, like for SEO, there's different tactics that work and then 6 months they don't work. Well, in the long run, everything is on relationships because in business, things go up and down. And I know a lot of people who are very successful and they might be very good technically from what you might look at, but I can tell you behind anyone who has done well in business, not just online, but anywhere, they will always tell you it's their relationships. So I'll tell you, a friend of mine 4 years ago, his name is Caleb Williams, and he had no brand. Nobody knew who he was. He had no online presence, and he started a YouTube channel. And I told him, make 1-minute videos, start interviewing people who are well-known. And he produced a book. And just last week, he celebrated having 500 episodes on his podcast, which is great because most people don't even make it to 100. But the difference between his podcast and all the other, I don't know how many 20 million podcasts there are out. There's a lot of podcasts. Everyone is a podcast. But the difference is that his podcast gets traffic. Hundreds of thousands of views. And you know why? It's because when he interviews other guests, he honors them. He does the research about them. He promotes the episodes. He turns videos like this, he turns them into articles. He turns them into snippets that he puts on social media. He puts $1 a day ads against them, right? So I'm famous for teaching $1 a day. $1 a day on Twitter, $1 a day on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and he puts it out there. So when he interviews like a Garrett Gunderson, then he's going to target Garrett Gunderson's audience so those people are able to see it. Because most podcasters, if they're lucky enough to even reach someone who's well-known, their thing gets like 20 views, or they're relying purely upon organic to be able to get views. Now, if you have a huge audience and you're a big-time podcaster, you could probably do that. But if you're small and you're lucky enough to have somebody to agree to be on your show, you should try to get that thing up to 100,000 views. And that might mean you have to spend $200, $500, something like that. But that's the key difference in building relationships. It's not just having the podcast, because you might as well just have a one-on-one Zoom interview. But what's the good of that? It's great that you can talk to somebody for free, someone who's well-known on Zoom or, whatever the tool is. But if you want to grow your brand, you have to make visible the relationships that you have, and to honor other people, you want to do the research in advance. You want to make sure you make the best use of their time, and then you want to share the things that they've said. And that's what grows your brand, because then people see that you're associated with these other people.
Yeah, definitely out there. And it's so relatable for me personally out there, because as you mentioned about the relationship building and the story about the guy out there who did the podcast, I kind of like did the exact similar thing. I have a book called Decades in Days, which I interviewed like all of these successful entrepreneurs, turned their wisdom in a book. So that's exactly what I did, and sent them the copy out there, and they started to, promote it to their audience out there. The part of the, as you mentioned, the Dream 100 approach initially, that was like one of the things out there that I did.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're doing the thing I'm telling you not to do. The biggest mistake that new entrepreneurs do is they promote themselves. So when you promote yourself and it's all about you and all about your book and all about how awesome you are, it doesn't resonate with other people's audiences. So if like I told you, if I'm with Caleb Williams and I'm fortunate enough to be on his show, and I was a few months ago, I didn't talk about me. I talked about how awesome Caleb is. Just like today, I'm talking about how awesome Caleb is. And therefore, when he shares that, when other people in my audience see that, and people in his audience see that, his audience will have credibility with me, because they see that he and I are together and I'm honoring him. So he's able to benefit from my audience and vice versa. Now, when he's on my show and I've interviewed him, he's talking about how awesome it is to be on my show. He's talking about all the things that he's learned from me, instead of him talking about himself. If I'm just talking about myself, then I'm a douchebag. Any of us, especially new entrepreneurs who talk about themselves, that's the number one mistake, I believe, of new entrepreneurs, is trying to promote themselves. I get why they do it, but it doesn't work. That's why if you want to do the thing that causes all these other new entrepreneurs to fail, do what they're doing, right? The very thing that's causing them to fail, do what they're doing, and you'll fail too. You can fail just like all the rest of them, but why would you want to do something that you know doesn't work? If you know that 99% of all the entrepreneurs out there are doing this thing that doesn't work, why would you do that too?
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting point out there that you mentioned, like 100%. You mentioned out there, something that you're really known for is $1 a day ads. Could you like talk us about that, like how the initial concept came for you particularly, and how you thought about it, and like how you actually position that for yourself out there, particularly in every aspect?
I've spent $1 billion on ads, and it's not because it's a lot of money. It's because it's a lot of testing. So testing allows us to take 100 different ads and figure out which one is the best. But you can't put $1 million against each one. Even our biggest clients are not going to put $1 million against each ad. We'll put $1 a day for a week against each ad, find the group of winners, put more and more money, and then the winning ad after many rounds, then we'll put $1 million against it. And we've done that multiple times. We did it for Rosetta Stone, for example. We were spending $1 million a day on ads. But we started with 100 ads to find one that won. Golden State Warriors basketball team. We started with $1 a day on ads, and we found certain ads just outperformed the other ads. You wouldn't have known. So RJ, if you and I were to look at a list of all these ads and try to figure out which ones do we think are the best ads, I would say, I think it's this one. Steph Curry shooting this buzzer-beating three-pointer. And you would say, no, it's this other one where they win the championship and they're celebrating. And neither of us would be correct. It would be something that we would never know, but we'd have to test. And what I've learned in almost 30 years of doing digital marketing is you have to test everything, and you think you might know better and you don't. The system will tell you what keyword works the best, what ad works the best, what landing page, what offer, what component works the best. So $1 a day is nothing more than a testing methodology that happens to work really well in digital because there's more data. The more data there is, the more ability for the algorithm to optimize, and the more our ability to let the algorithm do the work for us. But if you don't have the content, if you don't understand that you need to test, then you might as well just, in basketball, throw up a full court shot and hope that that'll go in. That is a very low probability if you only take one shot. I like to take many shots.
Yeah, love it, 100%. You mentioned about creating 1 million jobs, and I remember you came back from Pakistan out there, and I hope you enjoyed your trip to Pakistan particularly.
I love Pakistan. Yeah, happy Eid tomorrow. I'm saying happy Eid.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, and I was like watching consistently, enjoying Pakistan out there particularly,
Yeah.
and you have a plan for million jobs overall particularly, and I know you have a core focus over here as well. So like made it so much impact out there particularly. How you thought about, okay, like I'm gonna have this goal right now in my mind. I've done so many things out there. This is one of the goals out there that I'm gonna go for.
Yeah. There's so much in Pakistan, so much opportunity. My friend Rihan Alawala invited me to Pakistan. So I
Yeah,
spoke at Future Fest. I was able to be there with, Saqib Azhar or Sunny Ali and other folks, which is great spending time with these other folks and interviewing them. But it wasn't about me. It's about their mission. And it's about what is extreme commerce doing? What is enablers doing? What is the Pakistan government doing for education, for entrepreneurship, for funding incubators? And so
yeah,
we created a group as one on Facebook, for example, on digital marketing with Dennis Yu, which now has 20,000 members, which is amazing. So we're creating jobs out of that. I think we hired 3 people yesterday just out of the group. But the thing is, if in Pakistan, you could be very intelligent, you could be very hardworking, but if you don't have connections to American companies that want to pay American dollars, and if you don't have the necessary training, and if you don't know how to talk to American companies and have the soft skills, then you're going to be stuck doing other things that you'd never have an opportunity to do.
true,
So we want to create those opportunities. And the biggest gap is that most of our Pakistani friends don't know how to communicate with American clients. And these kind
exactly,
of communication skills you don't learn by watching YouTube. You learn by
true.
engaging. You learn by engaging in the group. So that's why I want people to engage in the group. Learn how to make a 1-minute video. Learn how to say hello. Right? Learn how to speak clearly without grammatical errors.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember, that's how we actually met as well. There was a mutual friend of ours, which was Wally. And then I met you over there in Future Fest, and we took a picture, and all of those things out there initially happened. But yeah, like one thing that you said is absolutely true out there. There are some of the things that need to be optimized in order to move ahead with the things out there particularly.
Yeah.
Now, in regards to that, I'm going to ask a question regard, for all people out there who are newbie entrepreneurs particularly, if they're starting out, how they can, what's your advice going to be for them to stay committed and stay relevant for the longest time? Since you've been in the space out there for a long time, you are still relevant now, and I'm definitely sure you have a plan for the future as well. What's your advice going to be for the people out there who either just starting out or in the space, stay relevant for the future particularly?
If you want to be relevant and if you want to be around a while instead of burning out in 6 months like most entrepreneurs, you need to find other business partners. You need to find a mentor. Because if you try to do it all by yourself, I don't care how many Gary Vaynerchuk's and Tony Robbins videos you watch to motivate yourself every morning, you're not going to be able to be on fire every day. You're not going to always be 100% every day. So you have to be part of a team. There's no way around that. I know, watching Marvel and Disney movies, there's the idea of the superhero, and we all believe we could be like Elon Musk and some kind of superhero. Elon Musk has a team. Richard
100%.
Branson has a team. If you don't have a team, what happens when something bad happens? It's unexpected. There's always unexpected things that happen. Somebody rips you off, a key customer quits on you, something that you thought was going to happen that was really good, didn't happen. There's always unpredictable things. And the only way to ride that out is to build a team. And that means you have to find a business partner, find a mentor, find other people to work with you or for you. Without a team, it's just you. And then if you're just a freelancer, and that's great. There's a lot of people who make money just as a solo freelancer. But looking at the stats of millions of freelancers, most of them are up and down. They get one project and they think they succeeded and they're making this money. And then the project ends and they're back to zero again. And they start and they stop. And that's just not a good place to be. Maybe it's a good initial starting place just to get some experience. But if you want to stay in the industry, you don't want to be a one-person show. You're never going to make it by yourself.
Yeah. Wow. That's so amazing. And yeah, like, I was interviewing a guy out there yesterday on a previous episode out there, and he actually said something similar out there. You have to grow yourself as a team out there just to move ahead. You can't be a solopreneur out there and can do everything by myself. Like how most people say, we have a team and they're the only one. 100%, that's amazing. You co-authored a book around TikTok, which is the definite guide to TikTok ads.
Yes.
Tell us like more about that as well. Yeah, like I've actually ordered it. I'm just waiting to get that book out there. Well, yeah, like tell us a bit more about that. Like what's this book is all about, and like who's this for particularly?
People jump into TikTok because they believe it's a fad, or they believe that TikTok is just for young girls that are singing and dancing. It doesn't apply to real business owners. We wrote this book for real business owners who are serving people that are not young adults, but people who have money. And the idea is that if you share your expertise and you speak 30-second videos, sharing just one tip at a time, that's all that's really required. Because if you're a real estate agent, you can speak, here's what to do in Dallas, right? You're a real estate agent in Dallas, Texas. Here's what you need to know about this new community. Here is my friend who owns a restaurant here in Dallas. Here's a new house that I'm showing in Dallas. Oh, if you want to buy a house in Dallas, come talk to me. I've lived in Dallas 20 years, right? You're just sharing your expertise. And the key is with TikTok ads, the system is going to optimize for you just like with Facebook. So we're not trying to become viral, right? We're not trying to get millions of views. We're trying to drive business. And so there's a different business model for people that are trying to become famous and make money having millions of views versus business owners that have products and services, especially local services, dentist, doctor, real estate, garage door, automotive, all of these guys that sell local services. TikTok allows us to zero in on that particular area. And it's great. The traffic is cheap. It's half the price, 1/3 the price of Facebook. It converts just as well. You just have to be willing to make video, as in cell phone, 15 to 30-second videos. You can have your customers make videos, your salespeople make videos, other team members and partners make videos. As long as they're cell phone style videos, you can run ads against it. And the biggest thing is you can run ads, you can boost other people's posts. So if you have customers that have said good things, you can boost those posts, and those are called spark ads.
That's amazing,
Yeah, because Facebook doesn't have it. The closest is the branded content tool as part of Business Manager, but almost no one knows how to use it, and it's very difficult to use. You have to know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, like one thing you messed up and you're out of the game.
It's approved. It's difficult. It's confusing. But TikTok is, there's parts of it that are confusing, but it's a lot easier. And we wrote the guide on exactly how to set those up.
Well, that's amazing. And yeah, guys, like I will definitely gonna post up the link. I believe it's on Amazon out there. So I'm gonna post up the link in the Amazon out there so you can get your copy out there. I've ordered my copy. I'm just waiting to get it. Definitely gonna read it as well. Gonna leverage it. Well, Dennis, one of the last things that I want to ask out there is, since you've been in the space from a lot of time out there, done so much things out there, what is the number one thing that you felt like a self-achievement, like, this is something out there I'm like super proud of? Like, what do you think about it?
I never think about it that way as being super proud, because I'm always thinking about what the next thing is. If you're climbing the mountain and you're a third of the way up the mountain, sure, you could look back and you can see, wow, I've really climbed a long way up the mountain. But the distance ahead of me is so much further than how far I've already come. So I've had certain wins, right? I've met some important people. You can Google me and you can see who I'm hanging out with. I'm not going to name drop. You can see who the people are that I've been spending time with, right? But it's not that, wow, look, I was able to interview so-and-so, or I met the president of this country, or here I am with this other very important person who's famous. It's that I'm working together with these people, and I'm grateful that we are creating jobs together, and these people want to create jobs with me. I'm humbled that they would believe that I am a worthy partner to work with them and their country to be able to create jobs.
Yeah. Truly appreciate it, Dennis, for that. I really love your humbleness. Like, how humble are you? I met you at that, at Future Fest out there, even though it wasn't like a long conversation out there. But, I really like the way you operate the things out there. So, huge props to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, RJ.
Truly appreciate it.